Long before printing presses hummed or city lights glowed against the night sky, the world held a book whispered about in marketplaces, studied in candlelit rooms, and treasured as a lifeline of hope. One day, this extraordinary collection would be called the Bible, but in the beginning, it was known simply as the writings, fragments of wisdom people believed carried a spark of the divine. It wasn't the work of one person, or even one century. 66 books, 1,500 years, 3 continents, and dozens of writers who never met, yet somehow spoke in harmony. To many, it felt like a mystery woven across time. Amphora dust, clay, and ancient echoes. In forgotten deserts where hot winds shift the dunes like waves, explorers uncovered clay tablets, the last surviving whispers of civilizations long gone. Among them were the earliest traces of the stories that shaped the Bible. Imagine the scene: a brush scraping gently over clay, a gasp as carved symbols emerge, an archaeologist kneeling in the sand, realizing they're touching words written thousands of years earlier. Deep within the ruins of Nineveh, one of the ancient world's largest libraries, thousands of tablets were discovered. Their messages matched tales passed down for generations, as if time itself had kept them safe. Centuries before that, around the 3rd century BCE, scholars in Alexandria worked quietly to translate the Hebrew scriptures into Greek. Their voices murmured late into the night as they created the Septuagint, a version that would carry ancient stories across cultures. Even Alexander the Great, during his visit to Jerusalem in 332 BCE, is said to have listened with fascination as scholars shared prophecies that seemed to mirror his own life. A conqueror pausing to hear a story written long before he was born. New moon, a world losing its light. But light doesn't always last. As years passed, most people lost access to written knowledge. Books were rare, kept behind locked doors, or accessible only to a select few. Even those eager to learn often couldn't read. Slowly, learning dimmed across many regions. Then came the decline of great centers of knowledge. The famous Library of Alexandria, home to countless ancient works, disappeared during periods of warfare and unrest. It felt like watching stars fall from the sky, one by one. Fire courage begins with one voice. Yet history shows that even the smallest flame can cut through the deepest darkness. In 1380 CE, a scholar named John Wycliffe dared to translate the Bible into English. He believed everyone, not only scholars, deserved to understand its teachings. People debated. Leaders argued. But Wycliffe pressed on, driven by a hope larger than fear. Many years later, a young Martin Luther found a Latin Bible hidden away in the University of Erfurt. When he opened it, he felt something spark inside him. If only people could read this. The thought electrified him. He would devote his life to making it possible. Then came William Tyndale, bold and determined. He dreamed of a world where even a child working in the fields could read sacred writings in their own language. His passion ignited a movement that would change history. Fire words that would not die. Authorities tried to stop the spread of translations, fearing confusion or misuse. Some early printed Bibles were confiscated, even destroyed. But something unexpected happened. Every attempt to restrict the writings only fueled people's desire to read them. It was as if the words themselves refused to disappear. Printer, a machine that turned the world upside down. Then came a quiet revolution. In a small workshop in Germany, Johannes Gutenberg built a machine unlike anything before it. A press with movable metal type that could produce pages quickly, clearly, and beautifully. When he printed the first major book from his press, he chose the Bible. Ink pressed into paper. Pages multiplied. Books spread to towns and villages where they had never existed before. Knowledge flowed like a river finally released from a dam. One early Gutenberg Bible would later become one of the most valuable books ever sold, a symbol of how far the written word had come. Sunrise light returns to the world. The Bible survived the centuries not because it was protected by kings, but because ordinary people believed wisdom should be shared. They protected it. They copied it. They carried it across oceans, mountains, and borders. Many faced challenges, but hope kept them going. And in the end, the light returned, stronger, clearer, and shining across the world, reaching people in every language, every culture, every generation.